on your side. This is 12 News Today.
Is the kindest, gentlest soul you have ever met.
An outpouring of love and grief in Richmond with a local on life support after being shot. How he's being remembered as police say his heroic final action may have saved the life of another.
Community camaraderie is the name of the game, with events happening across the U.S. for today's National Night Out. We're live with a look at local efforts to bring our neighbors and first responders closer together.
And after hundreds of restaurants whipped up fresh specials, the public votes for its favorite Duke's Hot Tomato Summer Dish with a local spot now has bragging rights and the coveted Golden Tomato Award. All right, a good Tuesday morning to you. Thanks so much for starting the day with us here on 12 News Today at 5 a.m. I'm Ashley Hendricks.
And I'm Sarah Bloom. I mean, we don't say this often, but maybe hoping for a little traffic tonight on National Night Out. Hopefully a lot of people there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hardly ever wish that, but you're right. We want to see a big turnout tonight. It's a great event.
And I think it's going to be decent. It's not going to be too hot. A lot of times people are just out there sweating, and we're telling you to drink lots of water and do your best to stay safe on a night out. And an afternoon out today, it will not be too hot. We'll do it again, coming in below average. And that trend will go for the next few days. Now this morning, and this is something we gave you first alert to yesterday, there is a chance of rain. And we have had a few spots that have had sprinkles. And although there's a huge chunk of rain out here, this is from up toward Harrisonburg all the way down into Winston-Salem, you know, the western portion of the Blue Ridge portion of Virginia. This is really light, and I think a lot of it dries up by the time it gets to us. So we will watch for the chance of rain today. But there's not a whole lot, I don't think, to be found. Lots of clouds, though, and with cloudy skies, it's not as cool as it was yesterday, but still comfortable, starting in the mid-60s with the dew point not too high, just not as crisp and or chilly as it was yesterday. So today's forecast, all day long clouds, and all day long about a 10 or 20% chance of rain. I think there could be a few sprinkles. Those of you on the east side of town near the bay, your rain chance is 10% or less. So some spotty areas of light rain, lots of clouds, and another daytime high, like yesterday, that will be below average. Yesterday we hit 80. Or we went to 84. Today we'll be down into the 70s. Candace, over to you.
Thank you, Andrew. So we're looking here at your traffic map, and you'll notice some delays as we're heading southbound at 95. Oh, and we now have a new crash. So southbound at 95, we know that there's some construction happening there at the Elmont exit, blocking some of our travel lanes. So that's why we're seeing a little bit of that yellow here. This just popped up for us here along Route 1. We have a crash there at Brook Road and at Magnolia Ridge. So we'll continue to watch that for you as well. Construction scheduled to be in the area until about 6 o'clock, so another hour of these delays. I don't think you need a detour, but I would add a few extra minutes. About 5 should be good to get you through there. And usually I would suggest using Route 1, but now we have a crash here. So just be careful traveling in Hanover. Macy?
All right, Candace, thank you. Developing the First Alert Center, Texas Governor Greg Abbott orders arrests of Democrats who left the state over effort to block Republicans from redrawing congressional maps. Overnight, Governor Greg Abbott telling Texas state troopers to, quote, track down and arrest more than 50 Democratic lawmakers. They left the state hoping to block a vote on a Republican congressional redistricting plan, and it would give the GOP 5 more congressional seats ahead of the 2026 midterm election. Now, some Democrat governors are weighing options to retaliate with their own mid-decade redistricting efforts. And in California, Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom says if Texas Republicans move forward with the plan, he would aim to put a new congressional map before California voters in a November special election. And for their part, some Republicans argue the Texas redistricting effort is a response to Democratic partisan gerrymandering. Sarah.
All right, Macy, glad you're following it. Thank you. Today, communities across Central Virginia will come together. It is, in fact, National Night Out, and the annual event aims to help build police-community partnerships.
Yeah, whether it's a block party, festival, or maybe even a barbecue, it's a chance to get to know your neighbors and first responders a bit better. Our Destiny Harris is on your side live in Richmond with what people can expect. Destiny?
Good morning. Well, more than 15,000 communities across the country and right here at home are coming out tonight for National Night Out. The event is always held the first Tuesday in August. Now, I want to give you a little bit of history about National Night Out. Now, it dates back to August of 1984 in the outskirts of Philadelphia. What began as a night when neighbors would turn on their porch lights and sit in their front yards evolved into so much more. And today, many local communities and neighborhoods are throwing block parties, ice cream socials, and more. Take a look at your screen right now. From the Tri-Cities to Ashland, you'll find events packed with food, family activities, and games for the kids, as well as the chance to meet first responders helping to keep our community safe every day. And the big event here in the city of Richmond at 4000 Richmond Highway. Many Richmond officials, including Mayor Danny Avulo, are expected to attend this event tonight. And in Goochland, the National Night Out event has been postponed. Those will be announced at a later date and a later time. But again, you can go to our website to find all the lists and locations where you and your family can go tonight, and that's 12onyourside.com. Live in Richmond, I'm Destiny Harris, 12 on Your Side.
All right, Destiny, thank you. Meanwhile, Chesterfield will be using National Night Out to debut a new playground and splash pad at Beulah Park. The grand opening is at 6 tonight. The county says the playground and splash pad were tested by more than 200 campers last week, and they say everything is good to go. Starting tomorrow, the splash pad will be open daily from 10 to 7. And as Destiny mentioned, there are dozens of National Night Out events across our area. Our digital team is on your side with the full list of those events at our website, 12onyourside.com.
Love those simple roots and how far this has come. Hopefully it's a good night. A Good Samaritan is on life support in Richmond. He was shot trying to break up a domestic fight. Adam Turk is a well-known local actor, and he was walking his dog Saturday morning when he saw a man and a woman fighting. He tried to intervene, and police say that's when the man shot him before shooting himself. The woman survived, likely because of his intervention, and now those who know and love Turk are mourning the loss of someone they describe as a loving light in the community.
I cannot explain the size of the hole that has been left, not just in our gym community or our theater communities, but in the fabric of this world, to lose somebody like Adam. There are not, he's the kind of person people write about in books because they want to be that good. And he just was.
The man accused of shooting Turk is at the hospital and has life-threatening injuries. Turk's family tells us he will pass away in the next few days after donating his organs to help save the lives of others.
Yeah, such a painful loss, thinking of everyone who loved him. Nearly $80,000 has been raised online so far for the Danville City Councilman set on fire last week. Lee Vogler remains in critical condition at the UNC Chapel Hill Burn Clinic. He has second and third degree burns covering more than 60% of his body. He faces months, if not years, in recovery. The GoFundMe account was set up to help the Vogler family with travel and medical expenses.
In just a few hours, the Chesterfield man who's been stuck in a hospital in Lithuania will be back home. 23-year-old Eric Jesse was on a mission trip when he suffered a serious neck injury while swimming, leaving him paralyzed. His family hit roadblocks with insurance trying to get him transferred to VCU Medical Center, but his mother tells us he's set to arrive back here in Virginia in the afternoon today.
More than 3 years after a massive fire devastated William F. Fox Elementary School, the building is now ready to welcome students once again. We got a look at renovation progress earlier this year, and now RPS leaders are preparing to show off the finished product at a ribbon cutting ceremony. It's happening tomorrow. Here's a look inside. Families can tour the building and attend a fair to bring the Fox family back together again. And this all comes ahead of the first day of class on August 18th. It's been a long time coming. Hopefully the weather will be panning out well for tomorrow, Andrew.
Yeah, I think we're decent. There'll be some rain, I think, around tomorrow. Not too hot. A quick note about this evening. We've had some coverage about National Night Out. There are events taking place all over the place. It is going to be cloudy and cooler than normal. So as you have evening plans, you're not going to have that feeling of a midsummer sort of hot and humid evening. Lots of clouds in place and temperatures in the low 70s. I think there might be a little sprinkle or something out there, but we're not, excuse me, going to have pouring rain on your outdoor plans. I do think that if you're out towards Charlottesville or maybe Buckingham County, out toward Farmville, Prince Edward along the Appomattox River, you need to watch for some areas of light rain this morning. It's really spotty. I actually looked at the rain, which has been coming down for a few hours now. This is in Lynchburg out here. and they've only recorded a trace, so it's really light stuff. I know it looks like a lot on the radar picture. Temperatures where the clouds are a little bit thinner, east of town in Tappahannock at 63, more clouds in Farmville, you're at 66. But a morning that's closer to a typical overnight low, but still not too humid. And our humidity forecast today, just slightly humid. That's Dewey, our humidity guy. He shows you how it'll feel. This is not going to be a typical hot and humid day. And we have a rain chance that kind of bubbles or just sort of holds at a simmer. Today's rain chance at about 10%. The high temperature forecast, 80 near the coast, upper 70s for the rest of us, mid 70s for a few areas south of town that have had some sprinkles already. So another cooler than normal day. Yesterday was mid 80s, was a gorgeous day. Today, a touch dreary actually, with clouds pretty much all day long. Time to hit the roads. What are you tracking, Candace?
Yep, so we have a traffic alert here happening again today. We have crews working on installing that water main here at Bon Secours Drive. That'll have Bon Secours Drive closed between Charter Colony Parkway and Brandermill Parkway. This is a big deal because it's near St. Francis Hospital, but the entrances to the hospital will not be impacted, so that's good news. This starts at 9:30 this morning. Will be an all-day situation continuing until about 5:30, and we'll see this repeat again tomorrow, Ashley.
Well, at least we have the first alert, Candace. Thank you. A new filing from the Justice Department may provide new insight into the Epstein files. The records officials are now pushing to make public.
OpenAI is putting a spotlight on the mental health of ChatGPT users. The newly added changes to the popular app trying to tamp down unhealthy behaviors.
Weather and traffic every 10 minutes, 5:12 at the time on your Tuesday morning. We want to start with traffic here southbound at 95. We're now starting to see some delays. This is in between our Ashland exit, Lewistown exit, and our Atlee-Elmont exit. We know that there's some construction continuing here for another 45 minutes, but now we're seeing heavier delays. At last check, we were seeing yellow. That just means a little stop and go. Orange means we're seeing more congestion as well as that stop and go traffic. So we'll keep watching that for you for the next 45 minutes and let you know if that changes or increases or hopefully starts to clear out for us. We are watching this crash here though at Brook Road and Magnolia Ridge Drive. Be careful there, but our highways look pretty good closer to town. This is 95 near Bells Road, Andrew.
All right, thanks a lot. Good morning, everybody. Let's dress to the weather. I don't think we need the umbrella. You know, if you had one in the back of the car or the bottom of the backpack today as you head out, maybe not the world's worst idea because there's a rain chance, but it's just for a few sprinkles or spotty light rain. But another morning when we can start out with a long sleeve shirt, we end up in short sleeves this afternoon, but a long sleeve shirt might work for a lot of you this afternoon as we stay in the 70s. The humidity forecast doesn't go to very humid or tropical at any point in the next week, although I do think we may notice that this forecast changes a little bit this weekend and the humidity climbs. There's nothing excessive in the next 5 to 7 days that we see. Today's high temperature is 77. Yesterday, if you remember, we had that as our verified best of the week. We ended up in the mid-80s. We have beautiful sunshine. We had low levels of humidity. This will be a bit cool if you have kids that are trying to head to the pool today, if you want to head to the lake or the beach or the creek or the swimming hole. A little cool today, 77 for the high and lots of clouds. A light breeze, 70 degrees at 9 in the morning. Lunchtime, you're in the mid-70s. So, you know, comfortable if you have outdoor activities, but not really a summery day here for you. And the hour-by-hour forecast that shows by midday the sprinkles are likely gone, and then we'll stay cloudy for most of the afternoon. I do think that there may be a spot or two of a sprinkle or some light rain after mid-morning, but our best chances over the next few hours and out west of town. Then by midnight, probably just cloudy. Tomorrow, this looks like a day with our highest rain chance, and I have it as light rain showers, but I'll show you in a map in a moment. It looks like very late tomorrow into the evening and overnight. For those of you south of town, there may be a little more than just a few sprinkles. So here's 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll wake up, and I think we're watching south and west of town for some areas of rain. It's just some spotty areas of light rain for the Richmond Metro. Much less of a rain chance tomorrow. This is 1 in the afternoon, Fredericksburg and Charlottesville. Watch out north and west of town. I'm going to hit the button here. We'll move through the afternoon. There's not much there. But the Richmond Metro may get some areas of light rain tomorrow. And south and east, some new signs in the computer models. There could be some heavier rain overnight tomorrow night into early Thursday. Just to jump ahead to the weekend, this area of low pressure we've been watching, this is a European computer model. And with an area of low pressure off the coast, it might be tropical. But either way, it kind of gives us a bit of a rain chance. It's really iffy for the upcoming weekend. We'll track that weekend rain chance coming up in just a few minutes. I'll have that 7-day forecast in our next segment. Sarah, over to you.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate it. Thanks, Andrew.
You're welcome.
This morning, a third person is behind bars accused of helping a Tennessee fugitive. 23-year-old Dara Sanders was taken into custody yesterday, charged with accessory to first-degree murder. Last week, 2 other suspects were arrested on similar charges. It all comes as the search for Austin Robert Drummond continues. Investigators believe he has connections with the local gang and may be getting help from them. Drummond is accused of killing 4 people.
And a community in Montana left on edge as the manhunt continues for Michael Brown. He's the suspect in a deadly bar shooting last Friday. Police say 4 people were killed. The police chief is working to ease community concerns, with 20 officers working 18 to 20 hours a day to find Brown. They believe he's still in the area. The motive of the shooting is still unknown. A federal judge denies another bail request from Sean Diddy Combs. Combs wants to be released from jail before he is sentenced in October. Last month, the jury convicted Combs of 2 prostitution charges, but he was found not guilty of more serious sex trafficking and racketeering charges. The judge says Combs has not established he isn't a danger or a flight risk.
New this morning today, we could learn more about the case against Jeffrey Epstein. The DOJ is looking to make some transcripts public from grand jury testimony against Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. The transcripts are expected to include 5 days of presentations, 2 in front of the Epstein grand jury and 3 in front of the Maxwell grand jury. This is the latest step from the DOJ to release some of the records amassed during the Epstein investigation.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement has arrested at least 3,300 people across Virginia since President Donald Trump took office again. This is according to the Richmond Times-Dispatch. One recent example, the man who was first reported missing by his family. In February, there was an initial surge of 691 arrests. That number grew to 773 in July, up 570% from just a year prior.
The world is reacting to more tariff news from the White House. President Trump announcing plans to increase tariffs on India in retaliation for the country buying massive amounts of Russian oil. Meantime, the European Union announcing it will delay tariffs on U.S. goods. Those retaliatory tariffs, which were set to take effect Thursday, will now be suspended for 6 months to give trade negotiations more time.
OpenAI is adding more mental health guardrails to ChatGPT. The chatbot will now have pop-ups encouraging you to take breaks after using the platform for extended periods of time. The tool will also shy away from advice about personal challenges and will instead try to help you decide for themselves by asking questions or weighing pros and cons. OpenAI says the new features are to make sure users have a healthy relationship with the chatbot.
Some fans of March Madness are crying foul as NCAA basketball announces it will not be expanding its field of teams for this year's tournaments. The current 68-team format started in 2022. The league is still talking about expanding to possibly 72 or 76 teams, but the earliest that might happen would be 2027. Some critics say having more teams in March Madness would ruin what they call an already perfect tournament. Well, we're looking to break records for our annual Ultimate Backpack Supply Drive. How one local business is helping us take a big step toward that goal and how you can get in on the action. Andrew.
Hope you enjoyed a comfortable summer day yesterday. We made it up into the mid-80s. That below average by just 5 degrees. It was right on our forecast. The daytime highs over the next few days will be lower than yesterday. We'll track when the heat returns in just a few minutes. Good Tuesday morning at 5:22. The 7-day forecast highlighting this big logo here in the middle of the screen. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the Richmond Jazz and Music Festival, and our temperatures, which will be cooler than average for the next few days, still look to be a little below average as we roll into the weekend, but up into the 80s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday, the hottest day. There's not much of a rain chance on Friday. That looks pretty good for outdoor activities, and an isolated storm is possible for Saturday and Sunday. There's no overwhelming rain chance over the next 7 days except for maybe tomorrow, which some areas of light rain, and then tomorrow late into tomorrow night, maybe some heavier rain in southern Virginia. But look at these temperatures. Yesterday we had, if you remember, I hate to do this on a Monday, but yesterday was our verified best weather day of the week. It was the mid-80s, lots of sunshine, low humidity. Now we're in the 70s for a couple days, much cooler than normal for this time of year. Cloudy today, Just a 20% chance at some light sprinkles. Some showers tomorrow in the 70s. Low 80s Thursday. Thursday, Friday, rain chance is pretty slim. There might be an isolated shower somewhere, and a lot of clouds early Thursday. We finally break out of the clouds Thursday, midday and afternoon, and we heat up back to normal by Monday of next week. And again, this weekend, just a few isolated storms possible, and we're watching an offshore system, a potential tropical system that might pump up our rain chances for the weekend. Doesn't look like anything too big yet. Let's head over to Candace.
Yeah, so if you are headed to the Richmond Jazz and Music Festival looking for some places to park, you can park at Dogwood Dell. It is free to park there. You can also park at the VCUS Carey Street parking deck. It is free to park there, but it is first come, first serve. And with a lot of people heading out to this festival, you want to make sure that you get there early. Also pretty cool, there will be a shuttle service that will take you from both of those locations to the festival. It will go from the festival to the parking locations throughout the night. Now, everything happening here at Maymont, that address is 1700 Hampton Street. If you're lucky to find parking around the area, you can do that as well. Sarah?
Those shuttles will be helpful. Candace, thanks for the first alert there. Our annual Ultimate Backpack Supply Drive is in full swing, and one local CEO's generosity is helping break records this year.
That's right. Synergy Technical President Ro Mead took 12 on your side along for her back-to-school shopping spree. Our Sarah Shackles helped Mead comb the aisles and pack carts with the goal of buying $10,000 worth of supplies.
Oh, that is going to help so much. Each necessary item will help make sure Richmond area teachers have everything they need for the school year.
Teachers spend a lot of their own money to educate our children, really, when it comes down to it. So that's fundamental for me. You know, let's make sure the teachers have the supplies that they need. Our kids spend the majority of their time with their teachers, so we want to make sure that they're prepared and ready.
Oh, this is so kind of her. Walmart tells us the most common supply items are at the lowest prices in 6 years, so Mead's money went a lot farther than expected.
That's what we like to hear. After 2 hours filling 2.5 carts, they still only spent a bit more than $2,100, so they have a lot of shopping left to do.
Yeah, hopefully she'll get a little help to fill those baskets. And we need your help too as we aim to fill 40,000 backpacks in this year's Ultimate Backpack Supply Drive. 12 on Your Side is a proud partner with VCU alumni for this huge event.
The drop-off is happening Thursday, 1 to 6 p.m. at the Greater Richmond Convention Center. You can also donate online. If you can't make it out there, just hop online. You can make a donation very easily that way. You can visit 12onyoursign.com/backpack to see more on how you can help. And I'm excited because I'll be out there live Thursday morning at the convention center, and we get this kind of quiet preview of all the backpacks laid out and all the supplies laid out, and then we fill them on up.
All of the volunteers are going to be there helping as well, so certainly appreciate that. All right, after hundreds of restaurants duked it out, one special emerges as a cut above the rest in this year's Duke's Hot Tomato Summer. After winning the popular vote, the 2025 Golden Tomato Award goes to Baltic's Bagel for their Pomo de Oro sandwich, featuring the Tom Bagel, a la vodka cream cheese, Hanover tomatoes, cured pork, and Duke's Mayo Basil Pesto, which I have not tried. Sounds delicious, though. This comes just days after Baltic's was named the best new restaurant by Richmond Magazine, so we're sending a huge congratulations to them. They got really creative with the bagel, too.
Yeah, they sure did. Some bread art there. All right, major developments from the University of Virginia with a new interim president being appointed.
But not everyone is happy about the change in leadership. The concerns now coming from a state official.
Plus, the cargo ship that crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore now suing the company that built the vessel. And Mason Moore has all the details after this.
At Gray Digital Media, we develop the right message to grab attention and drive leads with custom strategies designed to grow your brand and reach your customers across the streaming apps you know best. Cutting-edge strategies backed by local expertise. Together, we'll find new customers right here in Richmond and wherever your audience is. That's the Gray Media difference. We know local. Let's connect today. gdmrichmond.com. On Your Side. This is 12 News Today.
Now at 5:30, new legal fallout more than a year after a cargo ship crashed into Baltimore's Key Bridge. The ship's owner now suing the ship's builder.
Plus, UVA names its interim president after Jim Ryan's departure, but a state senator is demanding transparency. The questions he wants answered about the resignation.
And another traffic change is being considered in our area. VDOT now looking to put a roundabout at a busy on and off ramp. Good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with 12 News today. It's now Tuesday, August 5th. I'm Sarah Bloom.
And I'm Ashley Hendricks. Hopefully you're off to a great start this morning. Candace, how are we getting around on the roads?
Yeah, not too bad. We have a little construction that we're watching and one crash, but other than that, not bad.
Yeah, weather-wise, it's interesting because if you want some heat and humidity, you're in the wrong spot for a few days. You've got to wait.
Want that?
People do.
Okay.
Sarah wants it, and
I love a pool day.
Yeah, and she looks at me funny when I say that temperatures in the 70s are comfortable. But if you want to go to the pool today, it's extra towels, right? 2 or 3 towels. Every time the kids get out and dry them off, it's going to be cool out there. So if you're headed to the pool or to the beach today, the swimming hole, not the great weather for it. It will only be in the 70s with cool and cloudy conditions. A few sprinkles today and some showers tomorrow. I don't think there's going to be much rain today. A little bit better chance tomorrow. And here comes that heat. For those that want to go and bake in that summer heat, you've got it next week. And I think gets started on Sunday. The Doppler radar picture looks like just a ton of rain, but out toward Lynchburg, they are just getting some sprinkles, some spotty light rain. We're having a little bit of that in Prince Edward County, in a few spots west and south of the Richmond Metro. But a lot of this, I know it looks like it's coming right at us. I think a lot of it will dry up as it comes in. Temperatures right now in the 60s, so cooler than normal, and we end up today more than 10 degrees below average. Clouds all day, a light northeasterly breeze, a daytime high only in the 70s, and a few areas of spotty light rain or a few sprinkles. Let's go over to Candace.
Yep, so we're seeing improvement here. Happy to report that we're seeing a lot of green along at 95 southbound between our Ashland exit at 92, our Lewistown exit at 89, and our Atlee-Elmont exit. We had some lanes that were blocked due to that paving and construction. They were scheduled to be in the area till 6 at 5:32. We're not seeing any delays now, but we are still watching this one crash here at Brook Road and Magnolia Ridge Drive. Looking at your highway here, let's see if we can advance. I don't think I can. Something wrong with my computer here, but we were looking at our VDOT camera. Traffic is moving okay in the Richmond area near our downtown expressway. Macy?
Yes, thank you. Developing now out of Baltimore. The owners of the cargo ship that crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge now suing the company. Do you remember this devastating video right here that actually built this vessel that you just saw collapse? Grace Ocean Private and Synergy Marine, the owners of the Dolly cargo ship, filed that lawsuit last week against Hyundai Heavy Industries. The company alleging negligence in the design of a critical switchboard on that ship. Grace Ocean Private claims the switchboard was defectively designed in a way that wiring connections were not secure. The Dolly was leaving Baltimore in March of last year when its steering failed due to power loss, and it crashed into one of the bridge's supporting columns, as you just saw, destroying the 1.6-mile span and killing 6 members of a roadwork crew. Demolition crews are still hard at work to clean up that aftermath, and we're learning this morning here in the First Alert Center the bridge's replacement is scheduled for 2028. Ashley.
All right, Macy, thank you. The university's Board of Visitors announces a new interim president. Paul Mahoney will fill that role there at UVA. He served as dean of the law school from 2008 to 2016 and has been with the law school for more than 30 years. UVA says Mahoney will assume the role of interim president next Monday. Meantime, the board will begin the search for a permanent president in late August or early September. They say that will take about 4 to 6 months. And this all comes after Mahoney's predecessor, Jim Ryan, resigned under pressure from the Trump administration over the university's diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. State Senator Creed Deeds is now demanding answers from the board about how and why Ryan resigned. Deeds says Virginians deserve to know whether political interference or secret deliberations played a role in Ryan's departure. He wrote a letter with 46 questions that he wants the board to answer by August 15th.
Loudoun County schools also facing an August 15th deadline. That's when it has to answer to a federal ruling. Their transgender bathroom policy that breaks Title IX. The U.S. Department of Education says the policy ignores sex-based protections. If the district refuses to comply, it risks losing millions in federal funding. Supporters say the policy protects vulnerable students, but critics argue it compromises privacy and safety. A longtime fixture of Monument Avenue is heading to Los Angeles. The Jefferson Davis statue will be moved on August 17th. It comes several years after protesters tore it down as part of a nationwide protest for equality. Ahead of the move, you can give your thoughts on local statues. The Valentine Museum is collecting feedback about monuments and their place in exhibits across our area. We'll get a link to that over on our website.
5:35 now. The Hopewell Police Department says a partnership with nonprofit Real Life is reaping real results. Project Safe is an initiative to lower gun violence in the city. In the last 2 years, shootings have dropped by 45% and major crime has fallen 24%. Real Life is helping people with anger management, healthy relationships, and conflict resolution. Clients also meet regularly with their life coach who helps them find jobs.
Let's take a live look near the Bryant Park interchange. You have 4 days left to weigh in on VDOT's plans to add lanes and eliminate exit 80 to improve traffic flow in this area. That is not the only change VDOT's looking to make. It's also considering some new roundabouts on Arthur Ashe Boulevard. The plan calls for adding one to replace the traffic lights at the I-95 on and off ramps. You have until Friday to respond to VDOT's online survey. If you want to check that out, there's a link on our website.
The streets will be packed for this year's Ashland 5K. The race has sold out for the third year in a row. If you're hoping to participate, you'll have to put your name on a wait list. Charity entries is another option. You can visit Sportsbacker's website for more details about that. The race is run in tandem with the Ashland Half Marathon on August 23rd. There are still spots available for that distance. And we're just days away from the Richmond Jazz and Music Festival, and tickets are still available. The festival begins Friday at the Hippodrome before moving to Maymont for Saturday and Sunday's performances. CeeLo Green, Jodeci, Aloe Black, and T.I. are just some of the big names you'll hear and see. We've got all of the details over on our website, 12onyourside.com. Andrew, you are tracking a system that weekend as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's an area of low pressure off the coast of the Carolinas that we expect to develop. Maybe a tropical system, maybe not, but either way, it brings some sort of impact, and we wish you had a little bit more clarity, but as of now, we just think that that system off the southeast coast at least gives us a possibility of some thunderstorms as we roll into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. For now, we have on along Interstate 95 just a few sprinkles and some areas of light rain. Lynchburg's getting light rain, I just checked there, but Charlottesville, Farmville, some sprinkles down into Halifax. There's not, I know that looks like a lot of rain, and it looks like it's coming in to produce a washout of a day. We don't think that'll happen, but we do think that there could be some sprinkles, some spotty light rain. And for those of you along the bay, your rain chance is a lot lower. We start now in the mid 60s. The typical low this time of year, the average is 69 degrees, starting below average, and also the humidity level, which was really low yesterday, comes out of the pleasant territory up at a slightly humid. I do not think it's going to be an uncomfortable day if you're working outside, thinking about kids maybe having some fun outdoors today, going to camp, or if they're headed off to school today. There's not much of a rain chance, about a 10 or 20% rain chance. And there's not much heat either, as the daytime high is likely going to be in the 70s for the first of 2 days like that. We did it once over the weekend as well. And along the bay, where there will be brighter skies, a little bit more sun fighting through the clouds, you could get up to about 80 degrees. But that's a daytime high well below normal, and we'll track the warm up back to normal in our 7-day. That's in a few minutes. Here's Candace.
All right, good morning. Looking at your first alert Big 3 as you're traveling from Bottoms Bridge to our Chaco Valley Bridge. That's a low commute of just 14 minutes. Expect about 20 minutes to get you northbound at 95 Crater Road to the Downtown Expressway. That's Petersburg, Colonial Heights, and Chester. We look wonderful. And then we had some construction. That was slowing us down a little bit as we headed southbound at 95 between our Atlee, Elmont, our Ashland exit and Lewistown exit. That construction no longer causing delays for us, and we're looking at a 32-minute commute, Ashley.
Yeah, happy to see all that green. Candace, thank you. The Virginia Lottery hits its second highest profit year ever. Still ahead, how that money is supporting the Commonwealth.
And Colonial Downs is saddling up for its biggest event of the year. Which Kentucky Derby winner you could see on the track this weekend.
Today's Sunrise Time is brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, proudly serving Greater Richmond for more than 60 years.
On this day in history, August 5th, 1960, best-selling novelist David Baldacci was born in Richmond, Virginia. He mainly writes suspense novels and legal thrillers, which have sold more than 130 million copies worldwide. He was born and raised right here in Richmond and graduated from Henrico High School. He got his BA in political science from VCU and his doctorate from UVA School of Law.
The Virginia Lottery ends the fiscal year with its second highest profit total in its 37-year history. Governor Glenn Youngkin announcing game profits generated more than $901 million, and all that money goes to support K-12 public education across the state. Out of $5.7 million in record profit, $4.5 billion was returned to players as prizes.
Colonial Downs Racetrack is getting ready for the biggest day of racing in Virginia history. The 2025 Festival of Racing will bring horses, jockeys, and race teams from around the world to New Kent County, including 2024 Kentucky Derby winner Mystic Dan. They will compete for more than $2.5 million in prize money over 12 races. Post time for Saturday's racing schedule is 12 p.m. All right, 5:44, checking back in with Candace Smith. How are we doing on the roads right now?
Yeah, not too bad on the roads, but as we're looking ahead to the weekend, we've got the Richmond Jazz and Music Festival. It'll be taking place at Maymont, which is 1700 Hampton Street. If you are looking for places to park, I've got 2 free parking locations for you. You can park at Dogwood Dell. There's the address for that. You can just plug that into your GPS, or the VCU West Carey Street parking deck, and there's the address for that deck. Now, the shuttle for the Richmond Jazz and Music Festival will take you to both of those locations. If you are looking for an ADA accessible parking lot, that'll be this one here, the VCU West Carey Street deck. There will be an ADA shuttle that will take you to the event, and those shuttles will be running throughout the whole festival. And the parking decks, they open around 10:30 both the festival days, Andrew.
A lot, Candace. Good morning at 5:44. We do have a little rain on the radar picture. This looks like a ton, but it's relatively light, and that batch of rain is going to have a hard time holding together. You can already see it kind of breaking up as it works into central Virginia. So be ready for some sprinkles or areas of spotty light rain. A temperature this morning in the mid-60s. The typical, or the average, I should say, is closer to 70. So we're coming in, I think, comfortably just a few degrees below average. We're way below average this afternoon. I've dropped the high into the 70s. I think it's going to be cloudy all day. 77 for today's high temperature. Lots of clouds and a light northeasterly breeze. The rain chance at about 10%. Now, it's higher for those of you west of town, more like a 30% chance, and it's pretty low for people that are along the bay. So lots of clouds through the day today, 7 and 9 in the morning, and lunchtime we're in the mid-70s. So comfortable, but not feeling a whole lot like our typical summer day. Our national night out, sometimes we're talking about the heat and the humidity and the necessity to maybe wait until the evening to hang out for a while outdoors. Not the story today, as it'll be cloudy and cooler than normal as you head to National Night Out. 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, cloudy, and temperatures in the mid to low 70s. And again, a little sprinkle chance. But National Night Out takes place all across. And on 12 on your side, it takes place all across central Virginia and the country, actually, obviously National Night Out. But at 12onyourside.com, we have an actual list of a bunch of things happening across central Virginia. All right, here's the hourly forecast. Lots of clouds. The areas of rain sort of fall apart before they make it to the metro area with anything more than a sprinkle. But the rain chance today is pretty slim. Tomorrow, the rain chance goes up. I have it at a 60% chance. I think Richmond gets a 1/10 of an inch or less out of this, but there could be some areas south of town that get noticeably more, in particular, actually tomorrow night into early Thursday morning. So here's 6 o'clock into the evening, some spotty areas of light rain. Better chance of rain tomorrow evening into early Thursday morning, south and east of town. And the clouds could take a while to clear on Thursday, which is why we have Thursday's high at 81 degrees. So 70s for the next couple of days. Still below average Thursday and Friday. Rain chance unimpressive Thursday, Friday. Even as we go into the weekend, we're still watching for the potential that we could have some thunderstorms this weekend. And as you heard Candace talk about this weekend's the Richmond Jazz and Music Festival, we have an isolated storm chance at about 30% Saturday and Sunday. What we won't have is excessive levels of heat and humidity. That comes back next week. Time for Picture Pet. This is Hudson and Sadie. They are 3-year-old German short-haired pointers. They're always side by side, and they like to play ball, chase each other around, and they love to go on hikes. And Izzy, thanks for sending this in. They love to play rough, and they would love to chase a ball all day long if possible. And you know their favorite part of the day? It is cuddling with mom while watching 12 News Today. Thanks for watching Izzy, Hudson, and Sadie, our featured pets of the day. Dogs Day In sponsors this segment each and every day. We'd love to see your photos. You want to be like Hudson and Sadie and snuggle with mom and watch yourself on TV, then head over to 12onyourside.com/picture-your-pet or use the 12 On Your Side app to send in your photos. Sarah, back to you.
Oh, that sounds nice, just to lay down and snuggle up right now. Hopefully you get to do that while you're watching us this morning. 5:47 now. A prayer vigil adds to the ongoing hunger strike at Florida's Alligator Alcatraz. Still ahead, the demands protesters are calling for.
And it might only be 2025, but planning is well underway for the 2028 LA Olympic Games. What President Trump is set to do to ensure safety in the City of Angels.
Picture Your Pet is sponsored by Dogs Day In, keeping your pet's paws safe in our hands since 1986. Closed captioning on 12 On Your Side is sponsored by Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail.
.50 now on your Tuesday morning. Candace is following a traffic alert coming out of Chesterfield for you, and Andrew has the timing of when things heat back up. We'll get to them in a few stories. First, though, in your news to know, faith leaders and activists gather outside Florida's immigrant detention center known as Alligator Alcatraz. They're calling for its closure and for more humane treatment. The protest follows reports of detainees refusing food over poor conditions. Critics describe the facility as unsanitary and unsafe. The Archdiocese of Miami has now been granted access to offer ministry inside the facility.
Visiting the United States could soon come with a hefty price tag. The State Department is launching a pilot program which could require travelers to pay up to $15,000. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the 12-month program is an effort to prevent people from overstaying their visas. Travelers can recoup their money after leaving the U.S. Several countries, including Canada and Mexico, are to be exempt.
New UN footage shows thousands of Palestinians in Gaza scrambling for scarce aid near the Israeli border. A UN food agency warns famine is unfolding. The World Health Organization reports over 5,000 children have been treated for malnutrition in just 2 weeks. Aid collection is often dangerous, with 13 people killed Sunday in a shooting near a distribution site.
President Donald Trump says he would endorse Winsome Earle-Sears in her race to be Virginia's first female governor. When asked by the Washington Examiner, the president said he would support the Republican candidate's campaign. Her opponent, Abigail Spanberger, responding on X, saying in part that Earle-Sears, quote, seems to be working harder to earn that endorsement than she is standing up for Virginia's families, end quote. Early in-person voting starts in just over a month on September 19th. The deadline to register or to update your registration is October 24th. That's also the deadline to request a ballot by mail. Saturday, November 1st is the final day to vote early in person, and Election Day is Tuesday, November 4th.
Today, President Donald Trump is set to create an Olympics task force. This is for the 2028 Summer Games right here at home in Los Angeles. It will consist of members of the president's cabinet, and the task force is expected to handle security and other issues related to the games. The LA Olympics are set to start July 14th of 2028. And if you're wondering, the U.S. last hosted an Olympics in 2002 in Salt Lake City, Utah. And speaking of the Olympics, tomorrow marks 6 months out from the 2026 Winter Games in Milan Cortina, Italy. Don't forget, 12 On Your Side is home to all the Olympic action.
5:53 now. The government will stop sending paper checks for federal payments, including Social Security, starting September 30th. It's part of a push to modernize benefits and cut down on fraud. Fewer than 1% of recipients still get paper checks. They'll need to switch to direct deposit or a prepaid debit card. Waivers are available for those over 90 with disabilities or in remote areas. A new study finds Americans' top money worry isn't current grocery prices. It's what's coming next. More than half fear rising costs, and with food inflation up 3% over the past year, uncertainty is changing how people shop. Nearly 90% say they're stressed about grocery bills, especially younger adults who report the highest levels of anxiety. All right, 5:54, getting another check on that forecast with meteorologist Andrew Frieden.
Hey, good morning, everybody. At 5:54, remember how pleasant it was yesterday? We got into the mid-80s, lots of sun, low humidity. Today, a different day, a cooler day, a cloudier day. And for some of you in the far western portion of our viewing area, there's a decent little rain chance over the next few hours in western Louisa, Fluvanna, Buckingham out to Farmville. Just some spotty light rain. It's steadier out towards Charlottesville and Lynchburg, but even there it's relatively light. And this is why we have a 10 or 20% chance at a shower for the rest of us. This is Amelia County along 360, just east of Burkeville and Cruz. Some spotty areas of light rain have made it there. This is not a huge part of today's forecast, but just a few sprinkles possible. And we'll track that for you hour by hour in our next segment. At 5:55, let's hit the roads. Candace, what are you tracking?
Yep, so we're here in Hanover on our southbound side of 95. We've got a vehicle fire blocking some travel lanes. Unfortunately, there's no VDOT camera in this area, but it's in between our Ashland exit here at 92 and our Doswell exit there at 98. So we know that the right travel lane is blocked due to this vehicle fire. Your best bet is to hop off of 95 and use Route 1. That'll get you through those delays as crews are working to put those flames out. In the meantime, we'll start to see more travel lanes blocked and we'll see more congestion. You can see it's actually growing here. We just saw it happen in real time. So avoid 95 South, use Route 1 if you're heading towards that Ashland exit 92. Ashley, Sarah.
All right, remember, you never have to wait more than 10 minutes for an update from Candace. We'll get right back to her here in a few minutes. A local actor is on life support credited with saving the life of another during a domestic dispute.
Coming up at 6, how those closest to him are remembering the legacy he'll leave behind.
As the Texas governor orders arrests of Democrats who left the state to protest the redrawing of congressional maps. What's next after the break?
And it's National Night Out, and several events are going on throughout our area from the Tri-Cities to Ashland. I'm Destiny Harris in Richmond, and coming up, I'll break down those details and tell you what you and your family can do tonight.